What up, fellas? Gumby, coming back to you from the tip. Today, what I want to discuss with you fellas and give you guys an update, we're going to be talking about La Sancha. Pretty much everything where we're at right now with the car and what we plan on doing. But today, we're going to be talking about the brake system, where we're at with it. So let's get into it. If you guys don't remember on the last video, we did discuss and I was showing you guys this car is a DX model. So pretty much where we're at right now, fellas, we ended up upgrading his booster and master. We ended up going with an AP1 setup. These bolt up, fellas. They bolt up in all these chassis, even in EF, EG, you know, pretty much so on and so on. Any one of these chassis years, you're able to put in an AP1 booster and master. They bolt up. We also ended up getting the Honda S2000 clutch master. So that looks dope. But another reason why I like running this, pretty much the homie's gonna have good brake system. And I love the way that pretty much the front and the back are on the same side. And pretty much look at it, fellas. Looks clean as fuck. I don't know if you guys remember last time. All this wasn't done. What you have to do when you do a brake line tuck system, you're going to have to get bulkheads and modify this. This car has gone with a lot of other people that, if you look, I'm a little bit picky. I try to straighten them out as best as I can, but that's the best that I was able to get without damaging the OEM lines. These lines that I ended up doing, those are stainless steel, -3. You know, 3/16. The reason I like doing stainless steel in the bay is because they're strong as fuck. You know, if anything happens, they don't bend so easy. Also, what we also done, I've ended up already doing the fender lines. The fender lines are made out of stainless steel also. The only reason also I like doing stainless steel in the fenders is because we're going to be running slicks. I don't know if anybody, when a slick blows out, they usually end up fucking up the brake lines. So we ended up going stainless steel just in case if anything happens. And the way I make them, I like to make them just so where the coilover, you know, it doesn't hit. That's why you see this little bend in here, a nice little loop. We also did driver's side. Driver's side's already knocked out. When you do brake line tucks, fellas, the main thing, a lot of people have done it. You don't have to do it like how I did it. But when you do all this, I prefer to drop the subframe. It's much easier to access the rear lines, and you can make them nice and clean and drop them as low as possible. Doing them, I believe that's the lowest where you could get them, just because if you guys don't know, when you pull your dash out, of course you have to pull your dash out too, fellas. This car is not going to have any AC heater boxes, you know, so I like doing hardline all behind the firewall. You don't have to keep this little sound deadening in here, but my customer wants to keep it. So we ended up keeping it. You're going to see what you have to cut just for the bulkhead to pass. Also, you could see where I made, these are for the rear and those are for the master. You also have to remember your master you're going to have for the rear and for the front. The back of the master, that controls your rear. The front of the master is going to control your front brakes. We also, on this car, we're going to be running a staging brake. This is a CNC. I believe it's the 412. Pokey has the other one that has the reservoir. I don't remember. I don't know the number on it. But Pokey has the one with the reservoir. But this car is going to be a street car, fellas. He still is going to have full control of front and back brakes when he hits brake pressure. He's still going to have full control front and back, but then still be able to stage the car with a staging brake. We also ended up upgrading his proportioning valve. Since this car was a DX, we ended up upgrading it to the wheel wood just so we could have adjustability. We ended up upgrading his spindles and pretty much his whole brake system. We ended up going, he ended up buying Pokey's setup. So that setup is going to be going on this car. So pretty much this car is going to have a complete brake system. Badass. More into depth what we're going to be doing into this. I'm going to end up start making his lines. And that goes to here. When you run a staging brake system, fellas, if you guys want, I'll write, PM me and I'll send you the diagram. But pretty much how this is going to end up going, this is going to be coming out of outlet. I believe this is inlet. From the PV, you're going to have, this is the outlet that's going to be running to the inlet. The outlet of the CNC staging brake setup. This line, we ended up going soft line. He wanted to do soft line just because we plan on doing the center console, just to make it clean and hide everything. But this line, it's getting custom made. That this line right here, from this fitting right here, is going to end up going right here. So pretty much it's nice and simple. Well, to me it is. These lines are going to be going out to the front. Doesn't matter left or right. I'm going to end up making these. This one's going to end up going right here. This one's going to end up going to the other side. There's going to be one for the front master and to the rear. So I'm going to make one of these go to here and the other one go to here. All this is going to be made out of hardline. I ended up using as much of the stainless steel line that I had in-house just because I was bored. But we ended up, just to show you fellas, we ended up ordering all this. I like ordering stuff from Speedway. Speedway has very good affordable pricing for fittings. But we ended up going with this. We ended up also getting a roll of steel line, a zinc. This is very good and easy to work with, fellas. When you work with stainless steel, I usually heat up the tips before I flare it, just to make it easier. The tools that I run for stainless steel, I like using a rigid. I have a few different types of benders, but then you also have to clean up your tubes, fellas. So this is what I use to clean up the inner and the outer of the tube. My cutter. I also have a different cutter for stainless steel. But this is what I'm going to be using today, since we're going to be making the rest of his lines out of steel. But yeah, I ended up also, since we're plumbing this whole car, we want to make it nice and clean. I ended up ordering the Earl's hardline adapters. These are going to end up going, of course, right here on feed and fitting, on feed and return. Those are not done yet. I still need to clean them up, straighten them out. I want to put the subframe on, try to mock it up, just so I could see how low and nice and neat I could put these. But this car is coming out very, very nice, fellas. If you guys want more detail work, like me making a video when I'm flaring my lines and bending, I could also make one of those for you fellas. Drop a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see. Right now, I film everything off my phone, fellas. But I am going to be getting a GoPro, so I could be showing you guys how I do my bends and my flares, just to help out anybody that is, a do-it-yourself type of guy like me. I could give you guys, send me a PM, and we'll go from there. I ended up already starting to do his conversion harness. A few of these wires, there's like a 4 or 5 that I'm going to end up tapping into here. I'm sure a lot of people know how to do that in K-swaps. It's real easy. Also, we're gonna end up doing we're upgrading his wiring going to the fuel pump. We're running a 420 LPH pump, Deutschworks. We're running it to the tank just so we can have enough fuel since this car's gonna be turbo. But yeah, fellas, when you do a brake line tuck, fellas, on the driver's side, you have to do a little bit of cutting and notching just so the bulkhead could be visible. There's a little hole right there that usually I'm going to remove that. I'm going to flatten it out because the bulkhead is just right behind there. Another thing you guys need to give into thought when you guys do brake line tucks, you guys need to make sure when your bulkheads, when you pass them, that your nuts are not hitting each other. You know, that way I ended up doing this car, I never ran them up and down. This is the first time I ever did this. I like learning and doing new stuff. So I believe that way ended up coming out real nice on it, man. And just to give you guys a little bit more of a look, they came out. I haven't flared them yet, just to show you guys. I just have them mocked up. But yeah, see, usually the way I like making my lines, I like to get some coat hanger just so I could get the feel of it and see how it's gonna look. But yeah, drop a comment and I could do another video and pretty much, you know, a full video of me doing the bands, the flares with stainless steel and steel. I use the rigid for stainless steel and I use this one for steel. Doesn't matter. You know, you could use either or. When you flare out steel line, you usually heat up the tips and then flare it out. I like the rigid because once you hit the max, it pops. But yeah, fellas, this car is coming out very, very nice. I can't wait to see it. But if any of you guys want more, drop a comment and let me know. All right, fellas. Deuce.